Jerome has a question. I see it here. Are you in ketosis all the time or does it go away? I don't know. I know that may sound like a strange answer to that question. And if you think that was strange, I'll give you my second answer. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Wow. Now, let me explain what I mean by those answers. Because this is very important. Of all the healthy animals in the world, of all of our healthy ancestors that lived before anybody actually knew what ketosis was, somehow their bodies managed to take care of themselves without any conscious intervention. They didn't worry about, understand, or care about whether they were in ketosis or not. Ketosis is a natural function that happens in certain circumstances. And it's a normal function of the body. And you can rest assured that when you are not eating sugar, your body will be in ketosis when it needs to be, and maybe not in ketosis when it doesn't need to be. And nothing that you can do about it other than taking a lot of exogenous crap like medium chain MCT oils and all that other stuff that these people tell you. You got to be in ketosis. You got to keep measuring your ketone levels. You got to keep pissing on ketone strips. You got to know what it is. You got to know what it is. No, you don't. We are, as an organism, on autopilot. We are programmed. We are a self-driving Tesla. Our bodies know exactly what they need to do, and we need to do one thing. We need to give our bodies the nourishment that it needs and stay the hell out of its way. And don't interfere and try to micromanage any of that. Eat your meat, eat your fat, fast intermittently or whatever. Do the program, do the diet, and let your body regulate its own chemistry, which it does. Thousands of times every second, every day you're alive, in every one of the trillions of cells in your body, without you having to keep track of any of that stuff. The only thing that we really need to keep track of is the food that we eat, and to try to figure out what nutrients that we need might be missing from those foods because of the current state of crops and soil and everything else in the world. We've pretty well nailed that down to electrolytes, maybe vitamin D if we're not getting enough sun, K2, a few different supplements, iodine. But consciously, I think that's all we really need to take care of and be aware of. But this business about, and I don't want to down anybody else who's got a YouTube channel. I don't want to badmouth these people that harp on this stuff. I don't want to talk about, people that are wiring themselves up to machines, ketone monitors, constant glucose monitors, and all that. They're great to prove to yourself that when you eat sugar, it spikes your blood sugar. They're great for that. But, if you're going to continue to eat sugar, you're going to have a problem, especially if you're an addict. Even if a sugar doesn't spike your blood sugar too much, it's still sugar. It's still going to feed your addiction and perpetuate your addiction. That's why I say to, if you're a carb addict, you got to abstain for a while, and then you might try to reintroduce the sugars. But until you get off of them, your body will not find the right levels of everything, and it won't fix itself. And your body you have to have ketones if you're eating just meat and fat. It would be impossible not to be in ketosis some of the time. So I think the answer to your question, without me being snide and funny like I was trying to be, is, Jerome, is that I wouldn't worry about it. I wouldn't worry about it. I don't. I have no idea what my ketone level is in my blood. And neither does Anthony Chafee. Neither does Sean Baker. I don't think Ken Berry does either. I don't think many of the real carnivore people give a second thought to ketones. I know that Dr. Rob Sivas thinks measuring ketones is a joke. So I kind of follow along that footstep of the real carnivores, the real people that have just said, that's it, not eating sugar. Don't need to monitor their blood sugar. Don't need to do all this. That stuff takes care of itself. And now, if you're trying to be on keto, trying to eat all the treats, trying to juggle and balance those 20 grams of carbs a day so that you can continue to feed your addiction, yeah, the only way you can do that and still lose some weight is going to be to try to keep your carbs right under that limit that will stop ketosis. And in that case, yeah, you have to measure. But that's the problem with this particular lifestyle, the low-carb lifestyle, that I keep harping on, that I've learned. I learned the hard way over 75 years. It doesn't work. It's too much work. It's too much to keep track of. And all you're doing, you don't need any of that sugar. Your body doesn't need a gram of sugar. All you're doing is feeding your addiction and perpetuating the problem and guaranteeing failure down the road. That doesn't make sense to me, but as an addict, it made plenty of sense because that was what brought pleasure to life. Life without that couldn't possibly be pleasurable. Without that pizza twice a week. Without that Starbucks mocha frappuccino every morning with a biscotti on the side. Without cellophane bags full of Cheez-Its and Doritos and all of that stuff that just made you feel so good. And even low-carb versions of those were better than nothing. How can you live without that stuff? Well, you can. Not only can you, you'll live better, and you'll have what we call food freedom. You will have food freedom. That food will lose its hold on you. It won't matter to you. It would have no appeal to you. It's crazy and unbelievable, which is why it's so hard for people to do. I tell people what my diet is, and I tell them they should do it. They look at me like I'm out from outer space. They say, "You want me to do what? Are you crazy?" You know how many times I've heard that? And that's what I say, do what you want. It's your life. You know, you enjoy sticking those insulin needles in yourself every day. More power to you. You know, if a bag of Doritos is worth that, then that's your decision, man. So that's the answer. Long answer to a short question, but most of the real carnivore people, the doctors, I'm not a doctor, but I agree with them 1,000%, is that let the body take care of whether you're in ketosis or not. Don't give it a second thought. Hope that answers that for you and everybody else. Let's